Saluton, was how members of the Esperanto Society of New York greeted each other as they arrived at their holiday party in Midtown Manhattan. They gathered to honor L.L. Zamenhof, the Polish-born physician who invented Esperanto, the language these club members study and speak. Drive Zamenhof was born on December 15, 1859, and the club gathers every December to celebrate Zamenhof Day Zamenhof, to Esperantists something of a high holy day to club members. "Today is our biggest holiday," said the club's president, Mico Brandini, who with more than a dozen other members celebrated in the meeting room of a church decorated with a sampling of Drive Zamenhof's books and some flowers displayed around a framed photograph of Drive Zamenhof, who 130 years ago published the Annual Libro, first book, laying out his international language or lingua internatia. This being New York City, perhaps it should be no surprise that there is a society that has been around since 1905 devoted to this obscure language. In fact, there is a younger guard of members that has reinvigorated the club in recent years, many of them computer programmers like M.R. Brandini. "The fact that it was a constructed language appealed to me," said Max Howald, 23, a computer programmer from Manhattan, who was intrigued by the language partly because it is logical and systematic like computer code. "You learn the rules and then you can create stuff," said M.R. Howald, who learned the rudiments of the language online and joined the group to begin conversing. Esperanto speakers say the language is relatively quick to pick up. There are few grammatical exceptions and a lack of gender cases and conjugation, which makes it mind-blowingly practical and accessible as a universal second language, said Raul Garcia, 32, the club's vice president. As one T-shirt worn by Neil Blonstein, a former club president, put it, Esperanto is the fair international language. The group has 30 dues-paying members, $10 a year, and attracts roughly half that number to its monthly meetings, which are conducted in Esperanto. There are also ongoing discussion groups. At the party, members wished each other a happy Zamenhof Day, Feliĉa Zamenhof. They did not sing Happy Birthday, Feliĉa Naskigtagan, but they did wish each other Merry Christmas, Feliĉa Kristniskan, and a Happy New Year, Feliĉa Novjaron. Snacks were laid out and the Esperanto music was cranked up. The musical playlist was compiled by Robin Hill, 28, a computer programmer who took suggestions from other Esperanto speakers on social media. These included a version of La Bamba in Esperanto, and Superbasato, a pop song whose title means supermarket. "It's a famous Esperanto song," said Barbara Brown, 24, of Princeton, NJ, who wore a homemade button with a handwritten message in Esperanto. "If you can read this button, I already like you." Like many members, Ms. Brown learned Esperanto online, while older members learned it from books and courses. Arthur Bonetti, 54, said that growing up in Brooklyn, he learned Esperanto partly by tuning his shortwave radio into Esperanto broadcasts from faraway places such as Havana, Moscow, and Switzerland. Perhaps the most famous Esperanto speaker is the billionaire George Soros, whose father, Tivadar Soros, was an Esperanto speaker and author in their native Hungary.